Okay, Ian, going over some page 281 homework 37 to 65 odd. So these are the trig identities. You should, I don't know if Mr. Prussin gave you guys a notes page with this stuff, but you should get a cheat sheet that's got all the trig stuff. I got one I can photocopy for you, just let me know. But in number 37, it's asking for a sine theta is 1 over something, and it's right there, 1 over cosecant. Done with 37. And 39, it's saying tangent theta, whoops, is 1 over something. Well, tangent theta is 1 over cotangent theta. So those are inverses of each other. 41, it's saying secant theta is 1 over something, and secant theta is 1 over cosine theta. 43, now tangent theta, it's saying tangent theta is equal to something over something, and it's right here. Tangent is sine over cosine. Number 45. Now, number 45, it switches to sine squared plus cosine squared, so I'm going to switch screens on you here. Oh, not that screen. All right, here. All right, here. This is number 45. So for 45, sine squared theta plus cosine squared theta equals 1. So these are based off of a right triangle and the unit circle. In 47, I don't think I've got 47 on here. Let's go down to here. Nope, not that one. 47. 47 starts with 90 minus theta. It says sine 90 minus theta. And you just got to find something that matches it. Sine 90 minus theta is right there. Is equal to cosine theta. That's 47. For 49, it says tangent 90 minus theta. So you got so many little references in trigonometry. You just got to find the reference that helps you the best. Tangent 90 minus theta is right here, cotangent theta. 51, you're matching up secant 90 minus theta. Well, secant 90 minus theta is right here at the, oh, that's not it. Nope, that's right here, cosecant theta. So it's just a matter of finding stuff. All right. Number 53, let's switch. Okay, 53 and 55 get a little bit interesting. It gives you a couple of trig values and then asks you to find a couple of more trig values. So I'm going to use, nope, not that. There was a picture here I wanted to use. Not that either. All right. Yeah, I'm going to use this a little bit and this triangle here, adjacent, opposite, hypotenuse. So basically in 53, you're told that sine 60 is equal to radical 3 over 2, and cosine 60 is equal to 1/2. So basically, you could draw a right triangle off of that, okay? Here's theta. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So this means this side is square root of 3 and that side's 2. Cosine's adjacent over hypotenuse, so that side's 1, okay? So this is your 60 right there. And that's going to be a 30-degree angle. That's going to be a 90. All right. So for part A, you're asked for the tangent from the 60. Tangent from the 60 is going to be opposite over adjacent. So it's going to be square root of 3 over 1, or just square root of 3. For part B, you're asked to do sine 30. So now we're looking at the other angle. So from the 30-degree angle, the opposite is the 1, and then the hypotenuse is a 1/2. For part C, you were asked for cosine from the 30. Cosine from the 30, well, from the 30, the adjacent is the square root of 3 over 2, because you're working from the 30-degree angle. And then cotangent 60 was the last one. Cotangent 60, that's adjacent over opposite. So cotangent 60 would be 1 over the square root of 3. Now, you can never leave a radical in the denominator, so you got to multiply by radical 3 over radical 3 to rationalize the denominator. So it's going to be square root of 3, and the bottom turns into just 3. All right, that's number 53. All right, for 55, you're told this. You're told cosecant theta is equal to 3. So around 55 now, and that secant theta is equal to 3 radical 2 over 4. All right, first thing you're asked for. This one we're not really going to make for A here. First thing you're asked for is sine theta. And sine theta is 1 over cosecant theta. So it's the inverse of cosecant, so it's going to be 1/3. And that's it for A. All right. Now, part B asks for cosine theta. And cosine theta is the inverse of secant. So cosine theta is 1 over the secant of theta. So take that secant 1 and flip it over. 4 over 3 radical 2. Now we can't leave a radical 2 there, so we got to multiply by radical 2, radical 2. So it's going to be 4 radical 2, and in the denominator it's going to become 3 times 2. 3 times 2 is 6, because these two radical 2's multiply to 2. So it's going to be 6. And then we can simplify the 4 and the 6, so it's going to be 2 radical 2 over 3. So a little bit of simplifying going on in there. Now, part C for 55 said, what is the tangent theta? Now, tangent theta is sine over cosine. All right. And we have sine right here, and we have cosine right here. So we can write 1/3 over 2 radical 2 over 3. So we're going to have to do multiply by the reciprocal. 1/3 times 3 over 2 radical 2. 3's cancel, so it's going to be 1 over 2 radical 2, but we can't leave the radical 2's there, so we got to multiply by radical 2. So radical 2 over 4, because this turns into 2 times 2. Whew. And then for part D of number 55, a lot of stuff to do. It asks for secant of 90 minus theta. So you'd look back in your subtraction ones, and that's really equal to cosecant theta, which we already did. We already did up here, so it's equal to 3, and you're done with that one. Whew. Okay, that's A, B, C, D for 55. 57. All right, in 57, they start by telling you that cosine, I don't know what even this Greek out letter is, cosine sigma, I'm not sure, is equal to 1/3. And that's it. All right, so here's what I did with this one. I actually made a right triangle out of this one again. So I called this my sigma, or whatever letter that is. So cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. And I did the Pythagorean theorem to figure out this side right here. So I did 3 squared minus 1 squared and took a square root of that. That'd be 4 minus 1. 9 minus 1. So it'd be 8. The square root of 8, which is 2 radical 2. So that's what this side is. So I think now that I have those 3 sides, I can do these other problems in 57. AS for the secant of theta, or sigma, or whatever it is here. Secant, and secant is the inverse of cosine, so it's just this answer. It's 3 over 1. It's hypotenuse over adjacent. So it's 3 over 1, or just 3. All right, that's A. B asks for the sine of sigma, or whatever Greek letter this is. And sine from sigma is opposite over hypotenuse, so it's 2 square roots of 2. I'm going to just use these side lengths. 2 square roots of 2 over 3. And we're done with it. All right, cotangent sigma. Now, this would be adjacent over opposite. So it'd be 1 over 2 radical 2. Got to simplify that radical 2 out of there. So that's going to be radical 2 over 4. All right, for that answer. And then the last one, sine of 90 minus sigma. So you go back and you find that again, that's equal to cosine sigma, which we already have at the beginning, which is just 1/3. All right, that's 57. All right, 59 and 59, 61, 63. It says use the trig identities to transform one side of the equation into the other. So number 59 says tan theta times cotangent theta is equal to 1. Well, tan is sine over cosine, and cotan is cosine over sine. Well, everything's going to cancel out to 1. Sine, sine, cosine, cosine. So you get 1, you equals 1. That's all you got to do. So you just have to, on 59, 61, 63, 65, we just have to take the left side and rewrite it using some of these other properties. Okay. 61, it tells you tan and cosine, so I'm going to kind of go and find a spot here. All right, I'm going to use this sheet right here. So here's 61. I'm going to use some of this stuff up at the top. 61, it says tan theta times cosine theta is equal to sine theta. Well, we know that tan is sine over cosine right here. So that's sine theta over cosine theta. And cosine theta is really cosine theta over 1. Well, the cosine thetas cancel out, and you're just left with sine theta. So I made the left side look like the right side. All right, 63. 63, it's got this big parentheses. It says 1 plus cosine theta times 1 minus cosine theta is equal to sine squared theta. All right, let's see what's going to happen. Let's FOIL this. So we're going to do 1 times 1 is 1. Then we're going to do negative cosine theta times 1, and then positive cosine theta times 1. So the center is going to cancel out, and then minus cosine squared theta. So these cancel out in the middle, so I have 1 minus cosine squared theta. Well, that goes right back up to that one up there, equals sine squared theta. So this is sine squared theta. All right. 1 minus cosine squared theta, because sine squared plus, sine squared theta. Yeah, that's it. That's it for 63. 65, we got sine over cosine plus cosine over sine. Oh, okay, yeah. We got to get a common denominator on this one. Plus cosine over sine equals cosecant times secant. Oh boy, I don't know if I have enough room here. All right, so we got to get a common denominator. So on this first fraction, we need another sine theta on the bottom and the top. So we're going to have sine squared theta. And then on the right one, that's our common denominator. On the right one, we need another cosine. So we're going to have plus cosine squared theta equals cosecant theta, secant theta. All right, so we got the common denominator. And, well, we know this is 1. Sine squared plus cosine squared is going to take us right back up to that. All right, so this turns into 1. 1 over cosine theta sine theta. Now, actually, I didn't even need to write this. I'm just working on the left side. Now, this is 1 over cosine, which is secant, and 1 over sine, which is cosecant, because I can change that to a multiplication. So it's going to be secant theta times cosecant theta. And that is it. That looks like that. All right, that's it for 65. Now, there was 2 questions on page 271, and those 2 questions refer to these, let's see, where are they here? These negative values, the even and odds, right here. So in number 47 on page 271, it said sine t is equal to 1/3, and it asks for sine of negative t. Well, according to this set of tables, sine of negative t is the negative of sine of regular theta. So it's just going to be negative sine t, which is going to be negative 1/3. And then it asks for cosecant negative t. Well, that's the same thing. It's going to be negative of the cosecant. Well, cosecant is 1 over sine. So it's going to be negative of cosecant t. And that's, I don't know why I have CSC right there. And that's going to be negative 3 over 1. It's going to be the reciprocal, since cosecant is 1 over sine. Okay. 49, cosine negative t is equal to negative 1/5. So cosine and secant are even, so they just stay the same. So the cosine of positive t is just going to be negative 1/5. And the secant of negative t is going to be just what secant is. And it's going to be the reciprocal. It's just going to be negative 5. All right, a lot of stuff going on there. Sorry, I'm getting this to you kind of late. Take care. Whoops, got too much stuff coming.